Okay, so this is video 2. So we will be continuing, about the brain. Okay, so I'm taking very slowly so that you understand and study properly. Okay, so far in the previous chapter we have seen brain, what are the parts. Then we started with cerebrum, what are the parts, lobes, fissures, gray matter, white matter. Then we dealt about functions of cerebrum, and functions of cerebrum is mainly dependent upon motor cortex and sensory cortex. Okay, so far we have seen. So we will continue the rest, which is conclusion of the brain. So next we will see specialized structures of gray matter. So already we have seen what is gray matter. So gray matter is actually the nerve cells which constitute the surface of the hemispheres, and it is also called as cerebral cortex. Okay. So when we say specialized structures of gray matter, deep in the cerebral hemispheres, there are some collections of gray matter which form specialized structures. They are basal ganglia, thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, so deep in the cerebral hemispheres, there are some collections of gray matter which form specialized structures. They are basal ganglia, thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, so structures when we say, so you should know that it is basal ganglia, thalamus, hypothalamus, and these are the specialized structures of gray matter. So I hope you remember thalamus, right? So it is a temperature regulating center. Okay, next in detail we will see what is basal ganglia, what is thalamus and what is hypothalamus. So now talking about basal ganglia. So these are the following 4 pairs of gray matter. Okay, so here you have 4 pairs of gray matter. Pairs means 2 2. So so totally there are 8 then. 4 pairs means each one is of 2 2. Okay. So in the basal ganglia there are 4 pairs of gray matter, that is caudate nuclei, caudate nuclei, nuclei. Next is lentiform nuclei, amygdaloid nuclei and claustrum. Okay, so these are all 2 2. That is caudate nuclei, lentiform nuclei, amygdaloid nuclei, then you have claustrum. Okay, so the caudate nuclei and lentiform nuclei form together, they form the corpus stratum. So the first and the second, that is a caudate and lentiform, they form together to form a structure called as corpus stratum. Okay, these nuclei have connections with each other and also with other brain centers. The brain ganglia control the fine movements of the body. So all the fine movements like finger coordination, writing, okay, and then stitching, or then sewing, and then holding a pencil, and then putting a button, tying a shoelace, all these are fine motor activities. So this is mainly controlled by the basal ganglia. So to summarize about basal ganglia, there are 4 pairs, that is a caudate, lentiform, amygdaloid nuclei and claustrum. Okay, so this first and second nuclei, they form together to form corpus stratum, and these nuclei are connected with each other, okay, and with the other brain centers. Then you also see that basal ganglia, it controls the fine movements of the body. Okay, next in the diagram you can see that there is a section of cerebrum which shows specialized structure of gray matter. So you can just see only the gray matter and what are the contents in the gray matter in the diagram. Please learn it. Okay, you should know the diagram with the parts. Then internal capsule. Okay, so capsule is a covering. So internal covering is a narrow tract of white matter. So if you see, there is a internal capsule which is a narrow tract of white matter which is near the basal ganglia. So close to the basal ganglia you can see narrow tract of a white matter which is called as internal capsule. So many important nerve fibers which pass to and from the brain lie in this narrow tract. So in this internal capsule you find many important nerve fibers, okay, which pass. Already we have seen that in the white fibers there are a lot of nerve fibers. Okay, so close to this basal ganglia there is a structure, narrow tract of white matter which has got lot of nerve fibers in it, and this is the internal capsule. Okay, so that is all about basal ganglia. Next we will go to thalamus. So thalamus is situated at the base of the cerebrum. So we have seen cerebrum. So below this cerebrum is the thalamus. It consists of two ovoid masses separated by third ventricle. Okay, so brain again it is divided into ventricles. We will be studying ventricles. Okay, so it consists of ovoid masses. Ovoid means it is a structure like oval shape. Ovoid masses separated by the third ventricle. Thalamus is an important relay station for the incoming fibers of spinal cord and brain stem on their way to cerebral cortex. Okay, so now when we say thalamus, it is below. Okay, so it is situated means where it is present, okay, or it is located below the cerebrum. So it is found below the cerebrum, and then it consists of ovoid. Ovoid means one structure, shape. Ovoid masses mean structures which is separated by third ventricle. We will be seeing ventricle, okay. So this is separated, it has got ovoid, is a shape, okay. Ovoid masses mean structures which is separated by third ventricle. Now when we say this hypothalamus, it is important relay station, like TV station, relay station, okay. So this is a station where all the fibers which is coming will stay from the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, all the incoming fibers, all the nerve fibers will be stationed there, and brain stem on their way to cerebral cortex. So from there only it will reach to cerebral cortex. So all the relay station, okay, it is acting as a relay station. Why? Because for the incoming fibers of spinal cord, from the spinal cord there are fibers that is coming, and brain stem on their way to cerebral cortex. On their way to cerebral cortex. Okay, so this is thalamus. It is situated at the base. Base means at the end of the cerebrum, and it consists of ovoid masses which is separated by the third ventricle, and this is an important relay station for the incoming fibers and of spinal cord. So from the spinal cord, all these nerve fibers are coming, and from the brain stem, okay, and from there only it will go to cerebral cortex. So it will, from the brain, from the spinal cord, all the fibers will be stationed in this thalamus, and from there it will reach to the cerebral cortex. Okay, so already we have seen cerebral cortex is nothing but the gray matter. Okay, so all the nerve cells are stored in the gray matter. Okay, so that is about thalamus. Next we will see what is hypothalamus. So it is present below the thalamus. So this hypothalamus is nothing but is a structure, and it is present below the thalamus. That's why we call it as hypothalamus, because it is below the thalamus. It forms the floor and part of the lateral walls of the third ventricle. So thalamus, we have seen that there are masses which is separated by third ventricle, but this hypothalamus, it forms the floor and part of the lateral walls of the third ventricle. So this hypothalamus only is forming the third ventricle. Okay, it forms the floor and part of the lateral walls. There are two walls, okay, lateral walls of the third ventricle. It is forming the floor and the lateral walls of the third ventricle. And the functions of these hypothalamus are, there is synthesis of oxytocin and vasopressin. So these are the hormones, the two posterior pituitary hormone, okay, which is secreted here. That is synthesis of oxytocin and vasopressin happens here, the two posterior pituitary hormones. Next is production of releasing factors like GH, that is a growth hormone. Okay, it also produces many factors like growth hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. I will just write down, okay, it will be easy for you. GH is growth hormone, and then you have FSH, which is the follicle stimulating, H is hormone, okay, and then luteinizing hormone. All these are produced in the hypothalamus, and there is also a mistake there. It is not functions of thalamus, it is functions of hypothalamus. Make a note of it. And then third one, regulation of body temperature, already you have studied, right? Then coordination of autonomic nervous system. So this helps, hypothalamus helps in the coordination or coordinating function of the autonomous nervous system. Then control of appetite. Appetite means hunger. Okay, so this only helps us, to control the appetite, which is the feeling hungry. Okay, book. Okay, so this helps in control of appetite. So this is all about the hypothalamus. So these are all coming under gray matter. Okay, so gray matter we have seen basal ganglia, thalamus, hypothalamus. Next, we will go to cerebellum, second structure of cerebellum. Now, what is the cerebellum? This lies below the cerebrum. So, below the cerebrum is the cerebellum. It is situated in the posterior cranial fossa behind the pons and medulla. So, it comes below the cerebrum, but it is behind. Okay, it is situated exactly in the posterior cranial fossa. Okay, so it is found in the cranial fossa behind, below the cerebrum, behind the pons and medulla oblongata. Then you have tentorium cerebelli. Okay, it is a layer of dura mater. Dura mater is a covering of the brain. So this tentorium cerebelli is a layer of dura mater which separates the cerebrum and cerebellum. So this lies below the cerebrum. So what is separating them? Tentorium cerebri. It is a layer of dura mater which separates the cerebrum and cerebellum. Then you have cerebellum consists of two hemispheres. The two cerebral hemispheres are separated by a partition of dura mater called flux cerebelli. Remember, we studied about this flux cerebelli in the video 1. So what is that flux cerebelli? It is a hemisphere, right? The two hemispheres of the cerebrum is divided by flux cerebri and corpus callosum. Okay, so this we will summarize again. So it lies below the cerebrum. It is situated in the posterior cranial fossa behind the pons and medulla. Then you have tentorium cerebelli. It is a part of the dura mater which separates the cerebrum and the cerebellum. Then cerebellum consists of two hemispheres. This also has two hemispheres. The two cerebellar hemispheres are separated by partition of dura mater called flux cerebelli. Same like in the cerebrum, how the two hemispheres are separated by two parts, that is the flux cerebri and corpus callosum. Here also the two hemisphere of the cerebellum is separated by flux cerebelli. Okay, only one here. Okay, not two. Then the cerebellum also contains an outer grey matter which has numerous convolutions and an inner white matter. So outside of the cerebellum there are grey matter, okay, and then which has numerous convolutions or the foldings that we have studied, okay, like bridges, okay. So there are lot of convolutions and inner white matter. So grey out matter and then inner white matter, okay. So this is about the structure of cerebellum. If they ask you cerebellum also, you have to draw the brain. Okay, name all the parts and then describe about cerebellum, and then you have to write about their functions. So what are the functions of cerebellum? So cerebellum functions are, it helps in coordination of muscular movements. So muscle movement, it keeps the muscle in a normal state of tension. So it helps in muscle movement, it keeps the muscles in normal tension, and then maintenance of balance and equilibrium. It helps a person to maintain their balance and equilibrium. Both are same. Balance and equilibrium are the same. Again, equilibrium means balance of an individual. He will be able to stand properly. He will be able to walk properly without any giddiness or fall. Okay. So that are these are the functions of cerebellum. Hope you understood cerebellum. Okay. So in this video, so far we have dealt about grey matter and then we have dealt about cerebellum. Next we will also go to midbrain. So what is midbrain? Okay, so it is a short constricted segment of brain which forms a connection between cerebrum and other parts of the brain. So cerebrum and other parts of the brain are connected by a structure which is called as midbrain. Okay, so this is constricted segment of brain. Okay, so this is a small part of the brain which connects the cerebrum, okay, and the other parts of the brain. So when we say cerebrum, okay, it is a cerebral peduncles. Okay, so in this video we will not take further. We will finish with the cerebellum, midbrain, and then pons and medulla oblongata. Again I will continue in the next video. So I am dividing it in small parts so it will be easy for you to study. And whenever I am posting it, you make sure that you study that particular portion and keep it ready. So whatever extra assignments you're writing, extra work you're doing, make sure that anatomy, whatever I'm posting that particular day, make sure that you study that portions. Okay, so with this I will stop video 2. Video 3 we will continue with midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata.